Buddy, welcome to the Investing Bros. Welcome to my house. I got a little, guys get a little tour, living room. A lot of
Wow.
light shining. A lot of light shining. Was looking for a place down here that I didn't have a crazy amount of light coming through, but or like, at least like not like you guys see that like angel like glimmer thing going on, but there's nowhere. I'm downstairs trying to keep my voice down. Thank you to everybody who has been sending support and prayer. For those who don't know, we just had our first. Brody is here. He is amazing. Pretty content baby. He when he's hungry, he gets angry. Like last night, we had a we had about a 30-minute ordeal where he didn't even want to eat. He was so angry about being hungry, he didn't even want to eat. So that was pretty funny. But he's doing good. He's sleeping this morning. Mom was doing good, and her mom was able to come, so that's been a major help. But guys, we're here not to just talk about my baby. We're here also talking about Bitcoin because despite the fact that maybe Brody's good at buying dips, maybe that's what it was. Maybe Brody bought a dip because Bitcoin has been down. And there were some big words said by DeSantis yesterday as he announced that he is running for president. What does that mean for Bitcoin? We're going to talk about that and a whole lot more. But I am joined by my two fantastic co-hosts, starting off with the Florida man himself, Mr. T. Shroom. How you doing this morning, T. Shroom?
Well, I'm doing better than I deserve. Better than I deserve. I wish I had somebody feeding me food. And why
Yeah.
I feel like I'm whispering like I have to be quiet for some reason.
You absolutely are whispering. Stop it.
All right, but if you go over to my screen, I've got a quote of the day here for you, Tim. It says, "Any man can be a father, but it takes someone
Ooh.
special to be a dad." That's from Ann Jedis. So never could be more true here than in this moment
Yes.
on this day. And Tim, you are someone special. We know
Oh,
that to be true.
that's so nice, T-shirt. No, it's pretty crazy. Like, um, I've seen a lot of newborns, and all babies are precious and awesome. But like, I'm kind of the person like I love kids. I do love kids. That's one of the reasons why I was so excited to be a dad. But there's kind of that phase of like, from newborn to like a couple months old. Like, what can you really do with them? There is something very different about when it's yours. That no offense to anyone else's baby, but I like mine a lot better. And he's awesome. I love getting to spend time with him, and but still got to get some other stuff done. So today I'm not going full fledged back into work, but I'm gonna get some projects done, and I'm not going to be on for the whole show today, guys. I'm gonna kind of probably dip out here in about 15 minutes or so. But I wanted to come say hi to you guys and get the show going. But speaking of the show, we're also joined by Army Piper out in Texas. How you doing this morning, Piper?
Brother, I'm happy to have you here. I'm doing good. It's a great morning here in Texas. And yeah, I love that quote that T-Shroom put out for you, man. It's awesome.
Mhm.
So congratulations from my family to yours. So
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Well, speaking of family, we got to read some names here this morning. Got a good amount of people here in chat. Make sure everybody go ahead and smash that like button. I know it's these are a little lower here, but keep smashing those like buttons. We got a lot. I mean, when I say he commented first, it's not just he commented first. He commented like the first 4 times. So special shout out to Ninja Glock for those comments. He had enough time to, hey, so I'm here, and then 3 laugh face. So congratulations, you. Next up was Mr. Amello Fellow. We also got Cryptex here with the blue wrench. Mr. J is here. Crypto Pew Pew Cruz. Mike Play is here. Elo Brown. Elliot Locke. Eric Wallen. Let's see. 88 Ace is here. Crypto AI. Who else we have? Joe Nickel is here. GS is here. CBD Suddy is here. Karen Swigert Harris. I think I actually might have pronounced that correctly. Karen, tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I said that correctly. Crypto JMP is here. Who else do we have? Let's see. Keep scrolling. Crypto Trades is here. Crux of Crypto is here. Josh Denham, Mike Lowry, Sack Nasty 86, Crypto Military Vet, Jeep Girl. Who else do we have here? I don't think I'm gonna have time to read everybody's name. Mike Lowry, I think I said that one. Oh man, 13. Oh, got a super chat from Eric Wallen saying, "Congratulations, Tim. We're so happy for you." Oh, thank you so much, Eric. I'm very happy for myself, and I'm happy for Tay. And it is the beginning of a very new venture and a new experience in my life. So gonna be fun. Who else we have here? Angie Evans, King.D, J33KPT. Juice Toes. Shannon Sharp is here. I haven't got to read Shannon Sharp's name in a while. Loved seeing that with the blue wrench. Elo Brown is here. Um, let's see. Speaking of, Elo Brown says Tim's energy level. What happened? Well, to be fair, well, I'm not gonna say I got great sleep last night, but I got a little bit of sleep last night. I'm just trying to not yell in the house and ricochet my voice all over the place. Elliot Locke is here. I think if I didn't read your name, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up there. Crimson Caravan Company was another one. If I didn't read your name, it is not because I don't love you. It is just time to go ahead and get into the show this morning. And we're gonna start off by throwing it over to Piper with our economic outlook. So, Piper, anything big on the horizon that people should know about?
Yeah, bro. So we got today. We've got Chicago Fed National Activities Index is going to be coming out. GDP Price Index for the quarter is going to be coming out, showing how much is the United States actually making on GDP. Right? Is the growth rate or has it gone down? Right now, it looks this morning like it actually came in at 1.3%. Previously was at 2.6%. They had a consensus that was only going to be 1.1. It was actually up 1.3%. So not horrible. Jobless claims though came in this morning also. Previously was at 225,000 jobs lost for the week. The consensus and the forecast, as I told you guys earlier in the week, was going to be at 245,000 jobs lost for the week. It actually only came in at 229,000. Still a big number, but not as bad as what they were projecting there. So market's playing a little bit on that. Big one's going to be tomorrow, though, guys. The one tomorrow is going to be the PCE. We're going to have core PCE index coming in tomorrow with personal income and personal spending. So we're going to be watching this PCE index closely tomorrow. That'll be in at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this will be live hot data tomorrow morning when we go live. So that is what I'm seeing there for that. Let's go ahead and jump over to Trueflation. Guys, Trueflation down again. We're now down to 2.96, down another 0.03%. So this just keeps on dropping. Another 6/100% down, and we will actually be on Trueflation 2% less than what the U.S. government is reporting for our current inflation rate. So pretty interesting to see that there. I cannot wait to see what the actual numbers come in at. And then taking a look at the new thing that I've been bringing you guys, it is the liquidations map. Looking at the 24-hour here, looks like $47.9 million in Bitcoin liquidations in the past 24 hours, 35.7 million of that being longs, which we'll jump into the charts here in a few minutes and show you what happened to price action to liquidate all those longs. But also little pump action up, liquidating 12 million in shorts too for Bitcoin. So pretty interesting there. The biggest ones came from OKX. OKX had the biggest liquidation amounts of 209,000 of that being, oh, that's on the 4-hour. Let me put that to the 24-hour. There we go. 28.8 million dollars of those liquidations on longs being from OKX alone. So what is the biggest ones over here? Let's see. Looks like Pepe was a lot of liquidations here. So not good,
Wow.
not good at all. Yeah. And then if we take a look at the total liquidations chart, you can see here, looking at the entire list there for 24 May, evening going through last night, and that was Binance leading the way last night on that at $14 million in liquidations on longs. So not good, Tim, not good at all. A lot of people getting wrecked right now. It's
Yes.
just the price action is just keeps falling when people think it's going to find support, and then when they find support and they go into that long, it gets liquidated, and then when it starts to go up, people get jumping into those longs again, and then it comes back down, and it's just going back and forth. So not a pretty way to go in the trading world right now. So
Yeah. Well, for some reason, I'm on a different laptop than I usually am. It's not letting me share my screen, but I'll just give my thoughts on some stuff, and then I'm probably going to go and wrap it out here in a second and throw it over to Piper for the TA this morning, guys. But the CME futures tool, I don't know if you can show that one, Piper, but it's getting back to 50% almost, saying that we're going to get the 25 basis point rate hike again. Very interesting in terms of what we're looking at right now from an economic front. It doesn't make necessarily a whole heck of a lot of sense. It did adjust this morning, even after I looked at it. Yeah. Oh no.
Oh,
Yeah. It's getting down there. Yeah. So it doesn't necessarily make a whole heck of a lot of sense as to why it's going that way. Make sure you guys are watching for. I believe it is June 1st, or is it June 6th that they had the announcement for the debt ceiling, and if they're going to adjust it, are we going to go bankrupt as a country? What could that mean? But in reality, guys, when we're looking at the Dixie's climbing this morning. Of course, crypto has fallen. I want to kind of leave you guys with a little thought of hey, it's not over, and it's not something to necessarily worry too much about, because you'll see this type of stuff happen in trading. And in fact, my belief right now, as long as I've been saying this for a long time, as long as we stay over 25,200, we are still bullish on Bitcoin. That is a massive level of support, and until we lose that level, I will remain bullish. And then logically, I want you guys to also think about it, especially knowing everything that's going on. If you were a whale and it was about time to dump your dollar and get into Bitcoin or any another asset, but we'll stick with Bitcoin. Would you rather purchase at $30,000, or would you rather try to get the price down maybe towards that 25.2? Um, Easy answer. You'd rather buy at 25.2. Is this potentially, or what we're seeing happen? Have you guys ever seen in your local area a Bed Bath and Beyond that claims to be going out of, they're claiming to about to go out of business? And then they'll have these massive discount sales. They'll sell for like 50% off, 75% off. Well, there's a whole thing that came out that, well, a lot of times what those stores will do, and then they'll stay open because it's such a great sale. What they'll do is the week before, they'll skyrocket prices. Like they'll double or triple the prices of their products, so that the shopper can go in and feel really good about buying something at 50% off, 75% off, and feel like they're getting a steal, when in reality, they're just paying the normal price. In the same thing, the pump that I'm seeing right now in the Dixie, the dips that we're seeing in Bitcoin, is this not a fake out? Is this raising the prices for a going out of business sale on the dollar? The Dixie's going to crash hard as we're seeing this stuff happen economically. Janet Yellen is all but peeing in her pants, just like Brody is at this point, because the dollar is dying. Make sure you guys keep your head on your shoulders, continue to watch the chart, continue to pay attention to the news. But this does not scare me. I'm not scared about Bitcoin until we drop below 25.2, and we still have some cushion between us and that place. Everything that's happening, I still think that there could be a pretty decent rally on Bitcoin. Maybe not to 50,000, but I still don't think it's time to discount and get rid of the thought that 36 to 42K on Bitcoin is very easily something that could happen here over the next couple of months. But we'll continue to monitor that. I'm going to throw it over to Piper to do the rest of the TA this morning. But guys, I love every single last one of you. Thank you for your continued support. Make sure you continue to smash that like button and support both T. Shrim and Piper as they run the show. I'll probably be in and out again tomorrow, again, trying to give Tay as much assistance as possible. But hopefully next Tuesday, I should be back full-fledged. With that said, love you guys. Piper, take it away.
thanks, Tim. Appreciate it, man. And you take care. And we're glad that you were able to pop in and give everybody your glowing face over there. So we appreciate you being here, man. Let's take a look here. He was talking about the Dixie. So let's go ahead and jump in on the Dixie, guys. We had this channel that was running up here. I'm looking at a 4-hour chart on the Dixie right now. You can see that we have broke down from this, like I told you, and that we were trading up. Well, that's what we have continued to see, is that we are trading right up the bottom of this channel line. I went ahead and threw a regression trend tool on here so you can see what was going on there. And yeah, just kind of just grinding up on a whole new channel here, very tight, very small, with a whole lot of indecisive candles. I do believe that at any moment, this indecisiveness is coming from that debt ceiling, and I do think that at any moment the Dixie is going to break to the downside here, and give us some relief back into the market for liquidity, with the Dixie coming down, everything else coming back up. So that's what I'm waiting to see there. What's going on with that? Let's go ahead and jump over into Bitcoin. Looking at Bitcoin here, load up for me. Thank you very much. Looking at Bitcoin here, guys, you can see that it currently coming in right now at about 26,400. We are sitting just below that delta line right here. That's that delta line of the predictive ranges there on the blue. It does look like we could come down to this lower gold trade band here, of the predictive ranges. Remember, we like to trade inside of these, which is what we've seen a lot. It's just been isolated in the top half. It might be time for a run on the bottom half, and that would be coming in at about 25.5. A nice psychological number there. But some things that I'm seeing, though, that make me think that maybe this is not going to happen is if the RSI right here is able to break through that yellow signal line and get a bounce on that to come back up, I would be very bullish. If we get rejected here, though, we could come to fruition that lower 25.5 range. Good support there. But some things that I'm seeing here is on the oscillator, you can see that we got that ribbon twist, we got the momentum dot, and we're now starting to come back up with a big cloud to travel through. I told you guys, when these clouds are thick, we tend to go all the way through it, which would probably bring us back up, I want to guess, to the dynamic reactor here. So let's go ahead and check out a little something here, little teaser for you guys. Let's go ahead and turn off the prime
Uh-oh.
oscillator, and let's turn on the trend fusion oscillator
Uh-oh.
here, guys. Uh-oh, yep, breaking in some new stuff here, coming to you guys very soon on the Chart Prime suite. It is now called the Pro Suite, and this is the Prime Oscillator Pro. Looking here, you can see that the volume is starting to come down right here. We do have money flow still coming down. Yes, we have money flow in this thing now, folks, but you can also see that the volume of the trend line here is starting to squeeze to a point. It looks like we may be getting this about to turn green, which would give us indication of an upside movement coming on Bitcoin right now. That is a thing that we're going to want to keep an eye on there. Let's go ahead and turn this back off because I'm just giving you guys teasers today with some of this stuff. Go back to the normal oscillator here. And yeah, it's we got some great stuff coming to you guys. You have no idea. Let's go ahead and jump over and take a look at some of the other indicators that I have on here. Let's go on the fixed range volume profile. Let's see where we're hitting at on that. I do believe we have a value area low on this. Fire up for me. Thank you very much. Yeah, we're sitting right underneath that purple line right there. That is the value area low. That looks like it could be resistance for us, but because it was such strong support. But given what I'm seeing on the oscillator, I do think it is possible that we could break through that. And one last thing, let's drop this on here. Yeah, if we do get a pump up, guys, I was talking about that dynamic reactor up here. That's going to be aligning right here with that upper trade band of the predictive ranges, which is also going to be the 236 laying right on top of it. I would like to see that able to punch up through and get either a rejection of this, which would be a great short entry at about 27,375, or to punch through that. And if we can punch through it, prove it as support on a retest, then I would be happy to see upside. But right now, we're in a very tight range, somewhere between 25.5 and that 27,600 range is what I'm seeing for the bottom to the top of our current supports and resistances. Let's go see if we can confirm that one time. Let's go. And here, yeah, we've got some breaker blocks here coming in from previous order blocks. Guys, it has now become a breaker block, which is now our resistance point. And you can see up here on the top that we do have a medium order block up here. So if we do come back up, aligning with that 236, hitting the new order blocks from the Market Dynamics Pro, sitting there showing you that it has medium strength of volume and liquidity still in there. Bam, that's going to be where I'm looking at for the top on this run if we do get a push to the upside. And I've already showed you guys what we have on the downside. That is what I'm seeing on Bitcoin. And that is the end of your guys' teasers today for these indicators. But guys, this is just the surface of what's coming. So if you haven't gotten it yet, you probably need to get it, because sometime in the next week or so, all the prices are going up with all of the work that went on our new indicator suite. And if you want to get locked into that, you should do so. We'll talk about more of that in the community piece. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Looking at Ethereum here, guys, we are currently rejecting off of this trend line here right now as we speak. This trend line, auto-printed trend line from the suite, and it's given us a nice trend line of resistance here. We do see that the oscillator here does not printed the green momentum dot coming into the cloud yet, but we are starting to get a ribbon twist. RSI sitting in the same situation here. Let's go see what we have for some ranges here. Let's throw on that all-time high. Yeah, still sitting right there in line with the dynamic reactor. It's going to be sitting with the 236 right there. So I'll be watching for that to be our resistance line, which again, previous resistance strong in there. Plus we've got that lower trade band. We are stuck between that. I could see us coming down as low as 1716. I do have an order in for a possible wick down to 1700 for a long right now, and that's what I'm looking at there. One last thing I want to pull up here. Let's go on the fixed range volume profile, bring that into play. And yeah, we're going to have that 1740 is going to be a value area low for some support. So we'll see if that is able to hold there on Ethereum. What else should we take a look at? I had a request this morning from the investing bros in the Discord to take a look at Bencoin. So I want to pull this up and see what Ben's doing today. Try to answer those requests that I get sometimes. When those investing bros ask me to show something, I like to show them something. So let's get in there and see what we're looking at. Continuing to find support, making new predictive ranges every time it breaks out. Just so you guys are tracking. Why did I do that? Go back, please, and thank you. There we go. There we go, right there. Every time that we hit this top frame, it's just breaking out and just creating entirely new predictive ranges here. You guys can see the thickness of these is getting bigger and bigger. That's because momentum is getting greater and greater. But what I will warn you against right now, we did print a double bear pattern up here. We do have this downward trend, and this ribbon or this cloud is getting very tight on the oscillator. Guys, when this ribbon gets this tight, mind you, it's running parabolically. It's been tight back here, okay? So there's a lot of FOMO pushing in money right now. But this is a danger zone, and this can at any time just decide that it's going to go and fill in the lower half of the oscillator. You got to be very careful with this. Is there potential to get in like right now? Yes, we're showing support right now on the predictive ranges, but after this run up, guys, I mean, let's just take a look here from going back here to the 22nd of May to currently. Yep, right there. I mean, that was a 276% run up on Bitcoin. So the Ben Nation should be very proud if you got in on this. It's looking good. It's got a lot of stuff going on. It's no longer a meme coin. BitBoy has clarified that this is a community token. And if you are looking at selling, just so you know, you will have a nickname forever. It's called a has-been. That's what Bennett calls you if you sell this token right now. So you could get something on this, but we are showing some support. Maybe let me look here real fast. I just want to check one thing. I want to see if there is any money flow. It's not going to be there. My bad. Hold on. Yeah, the trend's still running up, and the trend assist is still pushing good there. But what I want to show is I want to drop in on the support resistance, and we have no support resistance coming in on multi-time frame because there's not enough history on it. So there you go, guys. Not enough data to get a full trend on this. Does look like it does have the support right here on the predictive range support line, but all of our real support is way down below. So please be very, very careful if you missed out on this and did not get it. It's going to be bad for you. So if you get into it right now, it could be bad for you. I'm not financial advice, but my personal opinion is I would let this cool off a little bit, see if we get some consolidation and see what the next move is going to be. But if you got into it last week at any time or early this week, congratulations to you. So let's go ahead and pull up ADA, and we will wrap this out before the market open. Let's get ADA in here. Where you at, ADA? I need some Cardano in my life. Yeah, right
Don't we all?
there. Don't we all? Everyone needs some Cardano in their life, not financial advice. I'm just going to keep saying that like every time I say something, not financial advice. Yeah, looking at Cardano here, guys, getting a break below the Delta line still showing as resistance here. We do look like we're getting pretty tight down here. We did have a peak seeker that printed on the oscillator. That's that blue dot right there saying that this very likely is a local bottom for reversal, and it does look like it is coming up now on the 1 hour. Let's take a look at the 4 hour and see how it's looking. Yeah, we got a value area low right here that we're going to have to push through. But again, we got that uptrend arrow that just printed there, and it does look like the ribbon's about to pinch and twist. RSI is sitting the same as it is on Bitcoin right now and Ethereum, where we could get that rejection on the yellow signal line, though. So keep an eye on that. But it is currently looking decently strong. A lot of liquidity over here, and the lower trade band is just below us. So if we do come down, watch for 35.2 cents to be a bounce point. If we can break this value area low, then watch this point of control above us at 36.5 cents. And that is what I have for TA, unless there's anything you want me to take a look at.
AGIX is
You
actually
want to
looking
see?
pretty good. It's up 4.5% today.
Let's pull up some singularity. I got that in my portfolio too, so I
Yeah.
love it. Yeah, let's get this here. Bam. Throw this up. Oh yeah, nice bounce there. What is that bouncing off of though? I wonder. Let's go take out a look at like the 12-hour maybe. Yep, there you go. 12-hour. We're getting a bounce right now on the delta line. I would watch this because it is breaking this trend line here. If it can get a good retest on this and go up, we're going to be looking right here at 31.4 cents, almost 31.5 cents on this upper trade band, possibly wicking above. It would not surprise me if this wicked above this to grab the liquidity that's here, trigger people's stop losses at the same time, rejecting off of the dynamic reactor before coming back down a little bit to retest maybe new levels that come into here. So if it is able to break that and gets a retest there, that would be a phenomenal spot too. But right now, just kind of grinding in this little range right here. It's not even that big of a range, really. It's 18% range here. And for a small cap like AGIX, well, I guess it's a mid cap now, not overly substantial on that move. So that's what I'm seeing for AGIX. And oscillator does look like it could flip on this, by the way. I just want to show you this. We are closer to breaking this RSI right here than the other tokens right now. And it does look like we're about to flip. I told you we'd like to trade in these clouds. This is pretty much about the bottom here, and this is very likely going to flip up. I think it's looking pretty bullish today on AGIX, in my opinion. So,
Yeah. I think a lot of other people are thinking the same thing, which is why it's up by far the most in my crypto watch list. So very good. Very good. All right. Well, we've got a couple minutes here until market open. I've got some big news, some couple of big news headlines here. We can go ahead and knock out the NVIDIA headline if you guys want. I know you saw Crux of Crypto down in the chat talking about it. Going over to my screen, you can see that NVIDIA shares have spiked 26% on huge forecast beat driven by AI chip demand. Going in over and taking a look at NVIDIA, you can see, watch this, guys. Boom. Look at that pre-market movement. That is up 26%, as the article said there on CNBC. Just outrageous. And Crux, I don't know if you're going to sell or not, man, but definitely seeing some movement to the upside there. But Nvidia reported first quarter earnings for its fiscal 2024 on Wednesday with a stronger than expected forecast that drove shares up 26% in extended trading. You just saw it. Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang said the company was seeing surging demand for its data center products. So what's interesting is its gaming department, its gaming division's actually down like 30%. But self-driving car chips and AI chips are growing at a pretty rapid rate. That is causing investors to go ahead and bid this thing up 26% before the market even opens. So that's what happens when you win. When you win earnings, you beat earnings, and you're an AI name. So continue to diversify into AI, guys. By the way, Nvidia is definitely not a buy this morning, in my opinion. That should be clear. It's obviously going to be overbought and probably come back and test. Will it go a little higher? It could go a little higher today in the session, but I would say this is not something you want to chase higher. All right, and there we go. We got our market open. Let's see how wrong I am. It just skyrockets up to 440. But all right, let's go ahead and get a proper market open here, guys. Energy is coming in a little lower here. Oil actually coming in quite a bit lower, down 2.5% here in the first minute. And natural gas opening pretty much even by natural gas standards. The futures contracts are pretty much even, and UNG, the ETF, is down 1.5%. Let's take a look at oil here because we have been following this story and its implications on CPI, a very important name. It's starting to break out of this pretty tight range that it's been in. over starting in December of last year, and it's really starting to kind of ricochet and try to break out of that. Whether or not it will just reconsolidate and keep moving sideways is the most likely, I would imagine. But it could start to make a break to the up or the downside. According to fundamental news, it should break to the upside. That comes from the finance minister over there of Saudi Arabia, the leader of the OPEC, saying speculators better watch out because the price is going to move to the upside. Is it a bluff? We shall see. But I'm certainly not looking to short oil anytime soon. All right, opening up here in the first minute and a half of the New York session, NASDAQ is up 2%. I wonder what could be boosting the NASDAQ this morning. I wonder what it could be, Piper. Any guesses?
I'm gonna guess something in the tech industry. I don't
Something
know.
in tech?
Maybe somebody that makes AI chips. Nvidia.
NVIDIA? Let's see. Let's see if anything sticks out here. Uh, this stock's up 24%. So you got AMD at
Well, that's behind
9%
your
too.
head. That's behind
Oh,
your
you
head.
can't see
There you
it.
go. There you go.
Yeah, you've got we're jumping ahead here to the mega cap tech story because it's just outrageous. Microsoft up 2.5, Google up 2.7, Meta up 1%, Amazon actually lagging on the day, down 7%, down 0.7, excuse me. But AMD up 9% and Nvidia up 24%. So holding on to those gains here in the first 2 minutes, for the most part, holding on to those gains. Can you tell I'm excited about this? Uh,
I
if
can.
Caleb,
I can.
if
The
Caleb
excitement. The
Franzen,
excitement is real.
I don't know if Caleb Franzen's watching. He might not be, but he tweeted this morning. Basically, I sold Nvidia in January. Roast me. So feel bad for Caleb, but here we go. All right, let's continue with our regularly scheduled market open here. Crypto is very mixed. You're seeing names like BNB, Uniswap, and ADA getting sold off. ADA down 1.5%. But Bitcoin and Ethereum are basically even on the day. So that is going to be something we'll have to monitor. Not really moving in one direction there, other than up. But then you have Optimism and Matic both moving in the right direction. Tron continues its mysteriously bullish movement to the upside. Don't hear a lot about Tron, but it has had a successful couple of weeks. I want to say, yeah, look at that. That's some good movement to the upside, facing some resistance now. But so overall, crypto looking pretty mixed, which is okay. You need to take a breather. You need to reload every now and then. Cake continues to get slaughtered as that fundamental case for cake is really kind of crumbling. So that's unfortunate to see. Just an update, guys. I'm out of cake. I was staked in there for a year, and I unstaked May 13th, the first day that I could, and I swapped into BNB, and then I swapped into USDC. So I am now completely out of that. I also put a decent amount into a project. Oh, what was it? Actually, I think it might have been XRP. I think I think I might have used my cake to get into XRP. So there you go. AGIX leading the market by far. So these AI names doing really well makes sense with Nvidia up so much. It's an AI play. It would make sense that the AI names are getting a nice little boost. Metals here: gold down 0.3, silver down 0.2. Not too much to see there. And then you've got your mega cap tech stocks, which you've already kind of covered. Nvidia giving back a little bit of those gains, now only up 22.9%. So, Crimea River. And then you've got the bond market here having a little bit of mixed movement as your longest dated treasuries here, yields coming down very slightly, with the 30-year down 0.3 and the 20-year down 0.15. But your 2-year is actually up, and this is higher than yesterday. 4.4% yield there on the 2-year. So things are just continuing to get out of control on the bond yield curve. So we'll let them do that. The Dixie, let's take a look at it. I don't think, Piper, you didn't look at the Dixie that yet this morning. It continues to move higher here, riding this
I did. I showed
upper.
it on the channel that it broke out of, and that we're writing at the bottom of the channel.
Oh, okay, perfect. Yeah, I won't spend too much time here then. You get your oscillator is starting to kind of curve in a outside of the wave, so definitely some movement to watch there. Cannabis red across the screen, and then your mid cap tech stocks, Snowflake getting slaughtered here. I don't know why that is. I'm not sure, but that is not good news for Snowflake, seeing a big move to the downside. And here you go, guys. C3.ai not missing out on the AI wave here. So it's an AI day, May 25th, AI booming, and no one is
Behind your head
surprised.
again.
No one is surprised. Thank you, Piper. All right, let's keep moving here. Your big banks are going to be pretty much green across the screen, with Citibank being the exception to that, down 0.2%, and big oil red across the screen as oil corrects this morning. Schellenberger leading lower, down 2.6%. That's going to be our market open. We can go ahead and jump into community. I know we skipped it, so why don't we go ahead and do that? Talk a little bit about the new indicator pack coming out from Chart Prime.
Well,
I'm excited. Piper's
First, I want to
excited.
give a shout out to Eric Wallen and Elliot Locke. We got some super chats that we never talked about this morning. Eric Wallen gave a $10 super chat saying, "Congrats, Tim. We're so happy for you." Eric Wallen also gave another $2 and said, "Sorry, I'm broke. I would send you more than $12." And then Elliot Locke gave a super chat for $5. He said, "It was awesome to meet you and the team, Tim. Congrats on the ankle biter, brother. I'll be back to bother you guys next year." So I wanted to give a shout out to those guys because, you know, the community is all about the community before it's about what's good and out there for the community. So wanted to give those guys a shout out. We appreciate those super chats. So but yeah, guys,
Absolutely.
so people were asking if you guys have are subscribed to Chart Prime, yes, you will get these updates automatically as they're released. They can only come out in batches of 1,000, so it'll be, you know, staged out. But yeah, you're going to get it as soon as it's published. You'll probably be in the first, and if you're a lifer, you'll obviously be in the first run of that. So yep, that is coming. New books coming, all that good stuff. So I believe that Investing Bros has a link down below also for 45% off your first monthly or quarterly if you don't have it and you want to get locked into those prices before they go up, because I promise you they're going up. New web page is coming, new book is coming, new indicators is coming. We've got new members on the team. And so yeah, that's what I got for community. What do you got, T-Shroom?
Yeah, I just say thank you everybody for who read the newsletter this week and enjoyed it. I'm seeing a lot of comments from the community there in the email actually. So those comments, I do see them and they're in the email. Thank you so much, guys. I know Crypto Trades left a comment and some other people as well. So thank you guys so much. I am seeing those. We are trying to get SSM on the show. We scheduled him actually for Monday, but then I realized, hey, it's Memorial Day. But we're going to have SSM on the show. He is an influencer based out of Nigeria. He's in the Gem Hunters, and I wanted to bring him on because the CBDC that's been tested over there, the eNira, is near a end, if you will. So in in terms of its testing. So I wanted to get him on and kind of give us some on the ground perspective. It's actually not the first time by a long shot that the government is going to be canceling an entire currency. So that's
Yeah.
something to watch, and we certainly want to get somebody's perspective who's on the ground there. So that's going to be exciting. Expect that sometime next week. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
he's got a very inspiring story of why he's in crypto, and it's literally because of the economy, their currency strength, their inflation rate. Like, this is, you know, if you guys consider that crypto is life changing money, in a place like Nigeria, it is life surviving money. Just that simple. Like it's literally allowing him to do things that his peer population is not able to do because of crypto. So yeah, very inspiring story. I can't wait to have him on. So
yeah. Yep. And Crypto Trades asked if I'm out of natural gas. Natural gas has been the nightmare of 2021 for me, or excuse me, 2022 on into 23. I've just held it. I figure there's going to be probably some movement back to the upside at some point for a commodity like natural gas. I did the same thing in like 2017 with U.S. Steel. I think I held that for 4 years until I
you're a
broke
glutton
back
for
even.
punishment, aren't you?
It's just a testament for making sure you use your stop losses. I was trying to get fancy and trading it both ways on a triple leverage, and I lost management of it. So, but the important thing was I was not trading with more than I could afford to lose. And
A T-Shroom, when you put your portfolio out there for the financial world to play with, do you establish a safe word or like how does that work?
negative. I just pedal to the metal, baby. All gas, no brakes. All right. Well, speaking of which, let's go ahead and dip right on into our headlines because there's another gentleman in Florida who's got his pedal right to the metal, and that is Ron DeSantis. And he tells Elon Musk yesterday that Bitcoin will die if Joe Biden is reelected. So, guys, this is a really, really big story. We want to make sure we cover this in depth. The Florida governor, my boss, portrayed his support for Bitcoin as a martyr of civil liberty and attempts to restrict crypto by his opponents as government overreach. You have every right to do Bitcoin. Interesting choice of words there from DeSantis. The only reason these people in Washington don't like it is because they don't control it. So there he is, and you got to love that thing behind him. That banner says "Don't tread on Florida." You could presume that's pretty good. Somebody over there on his team is using those brain cells, but Bitcoin represents a threat to them, DeSantis said. They're trying to regulate it out of existence. The current regime clearly they have it out for Bitcoin, DeSantis said, and if it continues for another 4 years, they'll probably end up killing it. So that's kind of the smoking gun there, the quote that you're going to be seeing kind of echoing through the media this morning. But that wasn't it. There was one more thing I thought was important. It says, you must get authorization from Congress, DeSantis said, of a CBDC. I can tell you, if I'm president, we are not doing a central bank digital currency. So, saying all the right things there for the crypto community. But Piper, I want to throw it over to you. Are you compelled to believe that Ron DeSantis is more than just an American politician here? Because we've been hit by so many that appear to be doing the right thing and saying all the right things, but then they get into office, they don't. So what is your take here on Ronnie D? Is he somebody that we can trust, or is he just another politician who's saying all the right things?
Is he a politician right now?
Yeah, he's a
He's
governor.
right now. He's a politician,
That's
and
correct.
you're asking me if we can trust him.
Well, there's got to be some politicians we can trust, though, right? I
Nope.
mean, what about
Nope.
Ron Paul?
Nope.
Rand Paul? Nope.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. Nope. I think as
Okay.
soon as they step foot into Washington D.C., they get corrupted, they get tainted, they get they just have to go with the flow because the entire machine up there is just going to sweep them away no matter which direction they try to swim. So,
Yeah. I tend
um
to have I tend to have that bias as well. That even though some politicians do stand for and protect the things that I care about, just our government is too large, complex, and there's too many interest groups that are running the show behind the scenes for me to really take any of these guys seriously. At the end of the day, right? Do I like Ron DeSantis? Disproportionately, I do. I want him to be the next president. At least he's a major contender in my mind. But just not to be too cynical here to bring down the mood. I do think that I share that opinion with Piper. So.
Yep,
Yeah, it
absolutely.
sucks.
So, yep, Elo Brown said it best. They get a taste of that sweet lobby money. Exactly. If
Yeah,
anybody, if anybody, if anybody doubles their annual income in the first year that they're sitting in Washington D.C., they should automatically just be let go. All right, thanks for
yeah,
playing. Enjoy your consolation prize of doubling your income. Get out. You're obviously just making money here, not making policies for the people. So,
yeah, yeah. So in regards to DeSantis's words here, though, saying that if Biden got reelected another 4 years, that Bitcoin would die, is that something that you're compelled to believe, or do you think that he's just saying that again to get elected?
oh yeah, I agree with. I do believe that Um, I do believe that it will be bad for Bitcoin. Let's put it this way. I believe it would be bad for Bitcoin for Biden to stick around, just like it would be bad for a lot of things if Biden sticks around. Um, is it going to die? No, I don't think it'll die. I think that's a little bit dramatic there. Obviously, in high school, he was on the drama team, so
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I don't think it's going to die. But I do think that Biden is absolutely bad for crypto, but so is Elizabeth Warren, and so is Janet Yellen, and so is Hillary Clinton, and so is Sam Bankman-Fried. There's a lot of people that are bad for Bitcoin. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's kind of going to be one of the most important stories from yesterday. In case you missed it, guys, Ron DeSantis and David Sachs and Elon Musk were all on a Twitter live, which apparently, well, not apparently, it technically went south because so many people were tuned in listening to it, a record amount. So, but there was a lot of important things mentioned, and one of those was that Bitcoin would die if Biden was reelected there. So that's something that the crypto community obviously isn't hoping for. If Ron DeSantis's perspective and his prediction is true, that would be catastrophic. So moving on into our next story here. Former CFTC commissioner says Ethereum has dual regulatory potential as a commodity and security. So, for all of our legal buffs out here who's been following this story, this one will tickle your fancy. According to the CFTC's provision, a commodity is not strictly limited to tangible goods, but includes any asset that is involved in a futures contract. The Securities and Exchange Commission's definition of security also includes contracts subject to futures contract. Making it overlap with the CFTC's definition. Lots of contracts there. Since CFTC's definition all allows them to see Ethereum as a commodity and the SEC sees it as a security, it is okay to regard the crypto as both a commodity and a security that the two bodies should regulate. So I don't even think this is worth talking about, Piper, because it's so like who's to say? I think that's the whole point of this article.
heavily convoluted.
Right. The whole point of this article is that, you're hearing from a former CFTC commissioner, someone who's professionally paid to go in and try to sort these types of things out. And now with crypto on the scene, it's just so difficult where it used to be, pretty easy to identify and then classify incoming assets. So there you have it. The CFTC commissioner kind of muddying the waters further, I would say. I wouldn't say that this is a good or a bad thing for crypto
we'll
or for
we'll know
Ethereum.
a lot more. We'll know a whole lot more on June 13th.
Yep. Yep. That's true.
So
That's true. That is
so
true.
that will add a lot of weight to that argument. So Crypto
Absolutely.
Trade said, Piper, don't trust nobody. That is correct. That is correct. I don't.
Yeah. And then Mike Henderson said, "LOL, 300,000 people were watching. That is not a record and should have been handled. Musk and Commie Ron flopped. Wow. So some strong words there for Ron. I don't think I've heard anybody call him a commie, but you've heard it here first. Mike Henderson also said, "Don't say anything bad about DeSantis, or your business will have to move to Georgia." Oh wow, okay. So, see, I see where you're coming from there, Mike.
I can
I
say
get it.
whatever I want to say about DeSantis. I have no business and my paycheck is forever protected. So, yeah, DeSantis and I have, you can't touch me. You have no power here, DeSantis. So,
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. We're just calling it how we see it, guys. I mean, to be honest, we're not really taking too strong of a position either way politically here.
oh, I took a
So
position that he's a politician and that by default makes him a liar. So,
yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Ninja Glock said the U.S. will be in a very bad position if he wins again, not just Bitcoin. That's referring to Biden there. So, guys, it is turning up. If you haven't noticed, it's turning up into election season here in the United States. So, if
would
you
you like
hate
to
it,
make any? Would you like to make any predictions about what will be the hot news topics in the next 6 months in America? Or is that a
yeah.
bro time conversation?
Well, no, I think the most important is going to be the economy. I think that is what voters in the United States really care about at the end of the day. It's the economy, stupid, right? Was a famous quote from one of Bill Clinton's aides when they were confused about how to run. And so I really think that that's almost always the most important thing. I think immigration has been important over the last couple of years. That's not something that affects me a whole lot, so I don't really spend a lot of time thinking about immigration, but a lot of people do, especially in the construction industry and the agricultural industries, and certainly in nonprofit industries. So there's a lot to be thought about there in terms of immigration. I mean, Firearm control is something that's going to be debated quite a bit as these freaking kids keep shooting up schools and acting out and just committing these terrible acts, but they're included firearms. And every time they do that, they just hand ammunition to folks who would want to control firearms and restrict the Second Amendment freedoms that we have in this country.
Yep.
So that's going to be complicated, and I'm glad that I'm not the one who has to sort that out. But people who have been elected are going to need to figure out what the American people really want and move forward. And that's going to be a big talking point for the 2024 elections, I believe, as well. And then, I think crypto is going to be in the top 5? I think a lot of people are starting to think that, but that's because we all kind of talk to each other. We're in a little bit of a crypto echo chamber here. I know Ron
No.
DeSantis. I know Ron mentioned it yesterday towards the end of his interview there with David Sachs and Elon Musk. But I will say that I felt like he was almost throwing a bone more than he was kind of trying to position that as a major talking point. Now, I would like to be wrong about that. Let me make that clear. But I just don't think that crypto is enough of a voters issue. I think there's a lot of people in finance in Wall Street. There's definitely a lot of people in tech in Silicon Valley, Austin, Miami who are concerned about crypto. But you're just suburban, everyday American person is probably not super concerned about whether or not Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a slew of other cryptocurrencies are a security, right? Or how they should be regulated, or if CBDC should be rolled out. I think it's something that politicians like Ron DeSantis and Kennedy are kind of bringing out and bringing to the attention of the people, which is great to build awareness. But I still don't think that is going to be a kitchen table discussion, hot topic issue. I think we still have a lot of things to sort out in this country, and crypto, unfortunately, is just not on the top of mind for most folks.
T-Shroom,
We do have a couple more stories, but Piper, I'd like to hear your perspective on that.
T-Shroom, how old are you?
28.
Yeah, so Crypto Trade said T-Shroom for president, Army Piper for vice president. It would have to be the other way around. T-Shroom's not old enough to be president.
Yeah, I think you got to be 35, right?
Yeah, 35.
Something like that. Yeah,
So I'll run for president, and I'll put you on my ticket as my vice president.
I would love to be a presidential aide. I do not have any interest in being president, not of this country at least. Maybe of a country like Estonia or like Liechtenstein
Well,
or
in 2025, after the next bull run, I'm going to buy an island down in the Caribbean and try to
yeah,
establish my own nation down there. We'll call it the Brostan. There we
I
go.
like it. I like it. Yeah, you'll need a president of that. But speaking of countries, Germany officially enters into a recession, a report says. So, Germany officially in a recession. According to the German Statistics Office on Thursday, Q1 2023 GDP, gross domestic product, in case you didn't know, was revised lower from 0 to negative 0.3. This followed a 0.5 decline in the last quarter of 2022. A technical recession occurs when 2 consecutive quarters of negative growth. So we forgot about that definition here in the United States, but Germany is sticking to it regardless of what their unemployment rate looks like. I would be curious to know what it is, though. If somebody could find that in the chat, that'd be great. But yeah, so they're over there and they're going ahead and declaring a recession for Germany. And our last story here is probably a little more interesting to talk about, which is Microsoft says Chinese hackers compromise critical U.S. infrastructure. So this one's a bit of a doozy. Microsoft issued an official advisory regarding a hacker group named Volt Typhoon. Subsequently, the Chinese collective has been operating since the middle of 2021 and is working to threaten communicative infrastructure between the U.S. and Asia. There, so a couple more details here. In a rather concerning development, Microsoft has said that a group of hackers backed by the government compromise critical U.S. infrastructure. Moreover, these hackers have sought to interfere with critical communications infrastructure between the United States and Asia in order to hinder efforts during future crises. Microsoft urges its affected users to close or change credentials. So ultimately here, guys, that this is something that's been going on and has been undetected, and Microsoft is just now bringing it to the attention of America, of I guess the government and just the people. So why Microsoft was the one who who was detecting this. I don't know. Maybe it's because they kind of have their finger on the pulse of data flowing around the world. But Piper, I'll throw it over to you. Is this something that surprises you? Is this something? I know there's not a ton of details in this, but is this something to be disproportionately concerned about as an American? What are your thoughts here?
I mean, most of the hacks that occur on Apple. I mean, on Apple, on Microsoft. So not shocking there. I do find it interesting because it said in there that it was the hackers were trying to destroy the line of communication between
Mhm.
Asia. Like, why would the Chinese government try to destroy the communication between Asia and the United States in crisis events? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't
That
know.
article, I would like to do some critical research on the sourcing of that article because it seems to me like there was a lot of opinion written in there and not data from fact driven sources. So
Okay. Well, CNBC has the same headline over here. Microsoft warns that China hackers attack U.S. infrastructure. Volt Typhoon 2021. I think what it is just Microsoft doesn't feel any kind of incentive to give too many details here. They're just the impacted parties have already been notified, really. So that's kind of the people who need to know more details have been informed of the details. Just now, the press, as of yesterday at 3:30 p.m., were given kind of the heads up. Hey, there's some hacking at a large scale that has been going on by a group named Volt Typhoon. I mean, I can tell you why they would want to cut off communication between Asia and the U.S. Not necessarily in times of a future panic, but you know, a lot of what has happened over the last 5 years. What was the very first thing that Trump did in his first term? Do you remember what it was?
he went after the Chinese import export tariffs. So
Exactly. There was a treaty that the United States was actually going to be a part of, and he with China and a lot, or actually not with China. It was with a bunch of Asian countries, excluding China. The very first thing he did was cut off that trade pact, and that was very curious to me. And I still don't really know exactly why, because you'd think that they would go in the opposite direction because he was tirading in his campaign against China. And it's like, you come into office and Obama has handed you this trade treaty that could potentially be the exact perfect thing to go against China. And he just takes us out of it and reps it up and moves forward. So that was a huge head scratcher way over my head of why they did that, what kind of 4D chess was going on there. But what does make sense is that China, the detail that's sticking out to me is the word Asia, that it's not China. I think China wants to remain the hegemony in the Asian Pacific Asian region, right? And so American communication with countries like Laos, Vietnam, Taiwan, even the Philippines, you know, that our Western influence there is not it's counter to Chinese interest. So the more that they can cut off communication or monitor or limit communication from the US to Asia, not necessarily China, the better it is for China because they're able to then, disseminate information more at a more concentrated level that they want those Asian countries to think and feel
right.
and continue to win the hearts of. So that would be
I
my analysis. Yeah, there's not a lot of details in this article. You're right, Piper.
You're right. Yeah, I just gave you a +1 T-shroom in the chat, +1 T-shroom for using the word hegemony.
I
So there
appreciate
you
it.
go. Yeah, yeah, you get a +1 just for that.
Yeah, I learned that in the bachelor's program that I got at Santa Fe College in Florida. I had a teacher who was an anarchist, and she would rail and rail and rave about how America was the global hegemony and it needs to be taken down. And I shocked her with a couple of counter arguments that it seemed like she had never been exposed to before. One of which I know we're getting on the end here, but one day I remember she was like trying to get everybody to be a communist and an anarchist. And I was like, well, what about the fact that like all these corporations that you're saying oppress us, like we can go out and buy shares in those companies? And she was like, oh, well, why would you ever want to do that? Oh, so you want to be part of the system? And I was like, well, I don't see it so much as being part of the system as much as just investing in a 401k like every single baby boomer has done. And that just totally floored her, and she didn't know what to do with that argument.
Yeah,
I'll never forget that.
most people don't know what to do with an argument when they get opposed with facts that go against their narrative. But hey, I want to give a shout out to Susan, Mama Shrum, in the
Hey,
house
hey.
right now. She was on the bro time yesterday, so I just wanted to give her a shout out before we roll out of here. But why don't you take us on out here, T-Shroom?
Absolutely. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Is Bitcoin going to die? We hope not. It is in the power of the people to either elect or reelect Joe Biden. But, guys, it is not exclusively up to him, his administration, or the Democratic Party whether or not Bitcoin will thrive. It is up to you hitting the like button right now. Just kidding. But, guys, definitely thank you so much for tuning in. And we will see you in the next video. You're watching and listening to the most generous investment community online. Thank you so much for watching. I've been T-Shroom. Catch you in the next video. Peace.
Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor, the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shroom's news got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.
Investing bros. Investing bros. Investing bros. Investing bros. Investing bros.